What's up, everybody? Welcome to Liberate Your Money, episode 31. Gonna talk about the price of Bitcoin. We're in the midst of a bull run. Last time I did a video, we were hovering around 16K. As you can see at the chart here, we're at 18,700 and climbing, folks. Well, before we get into the price of Bitcoin, I want to talk about a few things, okay? There's been a ton of news. Basically, the theme right now, hearing from people that come on CNBC, you're hearing, we had Druckenmiller on the last episode. We were talking about him saying that he was invested in Bitcoin. Right here in this video in front of us, we got BlackRock CIO saying that he sees Bitcoin replacing gold eventually. And his main reasoning is because of how easy it is to exchange. He says that, transferring gold blocks to and from each other just isn't as efficient as Bitcoin. He understands that things are moving digitally, and that's just the way that we're moving forward. The system's going to change. A lot of people think that going digital is bad. In some respects it is, but we're talking about decentralized currency. This isn't controlled by a certain person. Completely evolutionary technology. And we're seeing old heads with money starting to realize this. And I'm 90% sure that most of the run-up right now is because ballers in the game, billionaires like this guy, are realizing that in the future, what are millennial investors going to be investing in? Something that's digital. They're not going to be trading gold. It might be part of their portfolio because it's been around for 5,000 years, but it's not going to be primarily gold. It's going to be something digital like Bitcoin, and he understands that. It's just another example of, big money entering the market. The signs are there. Another video I want to talk about is Pomp had eToro. I think he's the owner of eToro. And he asked him what was the main thing he noticed in this bull run, and he basically said it's the rise of the millennial investor. People my age, 30 years old, we got a little bit of money, we've been in the workforce for a decade or so. We're looking for places to put money, and he's saying straight up from the horse's mouth that this bull run has been the rise of the millennial investor. We're putting our money into stocks, the rise of Robinhood, the rise of eToro. It's all because of us. The millennial crowd is getting into stocks and investing in Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, and he's basically saying that this is the number one thing that he's noticed in this bull run. So I think that's major. And if you think about the shift in behavior from old money to young money is more used to the internet and how applications work and how things like that work. So it's, what are the people going to flow to? We're watching it on this bull run. They're flowing to digital currencies. They're flowing to stocks. The main reason that we're seeing this bull run, I think, is because millennial investors. And then on the flip side of it, you got old money looking for places to put their money. We got markets besides the stock market, which is inflated. We got cryptocurrency, and they're seeing how stagnant gold has been. If we look at the gold chart, it's been absolutely depressing compared to Bitcoin. It's still doing good, don't get me wrong, but on a time scale frame, it's not doing nearly as good as crypto. Not moving nearly as fast. Look at this. It's just ridiculous. So this is the Bitcoin chart, right? I'm going to go back to the Bitstamp chart. So this is the chart that I've been showing you guys for a while now. If I just show you guys everything here, right? We've been looking at this chart for a while now, and we've got our ranges. Boom, we busted out of our ranges. The first 2 months, first 4 months of breaking out of the range. See, this was the first month out. Second month out, we closed on the support level, and then we bounced from the support level in October. In November, it's just seen continuation of the bull trend. And guys, we are literally hundreds of dollars away from all-time high. We're less than $1,000 away from all-time high. We're at 18,700. All-time high is 19,666 on the Bitstamp chart. That's ridiculous. We might break all-time high today before the end of the year, before the end of the week. Man, I've been trying to get. That's why we've been doing this. We've been anticipating this bull run. I created this whole podcast because I wanted to inform my friends and family of this beautiful asset, decentralized asset. It doesn't judge people. It's not controlled by anybody. And the market is clearly choosing Bitcoin. You take out this coronavirus liquidity event, and this chart is ridiculous. I mean, it's stupid. That being said, we're getting close to all-time highs. We haven't had a nice pullback in 2 months. And look, Bitcoin's notorious. Like, if we look at where price is at relative to other halvings, okay, so let's just look at how many months are we from the halving. This isn't right. This should be, it's July. Should be right here. That's where the halving happened. So we are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months since the halving. Let's look at where price was at 6 months from the previous halving. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The 6th month was a spinning top, meaning there was a lot of indecision. We haven't had indecision in this month, and it's November 20th. We still got 10 days left. We're approaching this all-time high, and we still haven't had a pullback. I think it's time to be leery. I think if you haven't, my investment theory is like the price of Bitcoin doesn't necessarily matter. I mean, it does because I'm a trader, so like I wait for opportunities when it dips. Like, I would not buy this green candle right now. That's kind of what I'm hinting at. Like, I'm kind of reserving for that nice pullback that we get because I already have, I've been accumulating at these lower levels for a while. So, I'm waiting for a spot pullback to where I can load up my bag some more. But on the flip side of that, like, if you have zero allocation, you need to understand that, like, we're just starting. I wouldn't even say we're not even to the second half of the bull run yet. I would say we're approaching it, because the second half of the bull run is where we see the mass appreciation. We're right here, which is about halfway. I think about right here is about halfway. You got to get above all-time highs, which it only took about one more month to breach that all-time high. And we're approaching the same thing. We're on the 6th month. It's crazy, the correlation, if you think about it. We didn't pass all-time high until the 6th month, which is the month that we're currently on. So history is about to repeat itself if we pass it in November. We have 10 days to pass it. And the way price has been appreciating lately, I'm not even going to put it past me. And like we just talked about, the reason why we're seeing these appreciations, there's 3 things. We got the halving. It's a demand crunch. When you shorten the supply that's getting put in, the amount of Bitcoin that's being put in the supply every day, which happens every 4 years on the halving day, it creates pressure on the supply so that if demand increases or remains constant, price is going to go up. What has Bitcoin been doing? Demand has slowly been increasing as more people start to understand it. So, as more people understand it, price increases, demand increases. We have another halving, supply gets crunched again. So, as demand remains constant or increases, price is going to increase. Like, it's super simple to think about when you understand demand, how Bitcoin's supply, scheduled supply. I mean, this is technology we're talking about and algorithms, and it's not people that are putting money in or putting Bitcoins into the system. This is computers, algorithms competing on the network, and then they get rewarded Bitcoins, and there's only a certain amount of Bitcoins every single day that get mined. We've been through this a million times, guys. The bull market's here. The halving happened 6 months ago. We're seeing the exact same thing that happened in the previous bull market. This is everything that we anticipated. everything. It's what I've been preaching for how long. But we're going to continue to preach. You know, this is a journey that I've been taking for 3 years now, and I don't plan on stopping anytime soon. We're entering the back end of the second quarter of the bull market, I would say. So we got the whole second half ahead of us. We haven't even busted all-time high. So if you're worried about, am I getting in too late? You know, I would wait for a pullback. That's what I'm going to do to load up my bag some more, because it's been going up so fast, so quickly lately. It's gone up in a short amount of time, a lot. So I think it's due for a nice correction. But that being said, there's a lot of demand, a lot of hype around it. And retail isn't even here. Another thing I wanted to get into, like this whole run up, like what was causing demand? Like, you think Bitcoin's a nascent asset that nobody talks about now? Like, think about it back in 2016. The people that were buying Bitcoin, they needed Bitcoin in order to buy altcoins. It was almost like an Ethereum built bull run. You know, besides the whole supply crunch and demand increase and naturally, like people had to buy Bitcoin if they wanted to buy altcoins. So that drove the price of Bitcoin up, because people were buying Bitcoin because they wanted to buy these alternative coins. So that was driving demand up. And what we seen once Bitcoin topped out is we saw a shift from Bitcoin. Everybody, not everybody, but a lot of people moved their Bitcoin into altcoins as Bitcoin was going down, right? We saw the altcoin market cap skyrocket. We saw, you know, Litecoin, Ethereum, just all these shit coins just start popping off down here, right? It's because the capital has a natural flow in crypto. I mean, this is a hack. It flows into Bitcoin, flows into altcoins, and then it flows back into Bitcoin, or flows into cash, and then it'll slowly flow back into Bitcoin. It's a cycle that happens every time. And I guarantee you it's going to happen again. You know, once we peak out on this bull run, really once Bitcoin peaks, that's when you want to be moving some of that, selling some of your Bitcoin, moving some of it into altcoins as they just start popping like fucking popcorn kernels. They'll start pulling 10x's, 5x's. I mean, it's stupid how fast these things rise, because there's no liquidity, the supply is ultra low, and people are just looking to flip it, pump it. Like, that's all the shit coins are good for, is to accumulate more BTC, and that's all I use them for. The only crypto that I actually trust is Bitcoin, and I've got a strong opinion on Ethereum as well. I think Ethereum is going to do just as well as far as price appreciation. If you look at the Ethereum chart, I mean, it's in like the beginning stages. It looks like the Bitcoin chart from like it's about to break out. Ethereum looks like 2016 Bitcoin, and it's about to break out. I think it's due for a nice bull run back to all-time highs and even higher. There is this awesome Nic Carter. I don't know if you guys follow him. He's a big Bitcoiner, been in the game for a long time, but he writes about Bitcoin really well. And I'll post this Medium article in the description. But it goes over some charts. It just talks about how easy it is how much the Bitcoin market has changed since the last bull run, and how we have all these metrics that we can follow that show us how Bitcoin addresses holding more than $10 worth of Bitcoin have been increasing. So that tells us that more people are buying Bitcoin and holding it. Even small amounts of Bitcoin, $10 or more. I mean, think about how minuscule that is. Like, you don't need to have $18,000 to invest in Bitcoin. Just because that's the price of one doesn't mean you can't throw $25 at it and hold on to that $25 and watch it triple. But this is a great article because he talks about a lot of charts and a lot of metrics that you can look at. And one of the big things I want to talk about is how Bitcoin's price has a lot to do with the currency that it is valued in. So when Bitcoin's priced in Turkish lira, it's been at all-time highs. It's at, what is it, $128,000, or not dollars, but 128,000 Turkish lira. So the price of Bitcoin has just as much to do with Bitcoin as it does US dollar. The more the US dollar inflates, the more that helps the price appreciation of Bitcoin. And what has the government's been doing? Inflating the US dollar. The US dollar has been tanking, it's been going down in value. So what's that do to other assets that are priced in USD? it goes up in price. So Bitcoin is already at all-time highs on many currencies. It's just the USD chart that hasn't hit all-time high yet. So I think that's something to take into consideration. Like, the price of Bitcoin has a lot to do with US dollars, just as much as it has to do with the demand for actual Bitcoins. And that's something to take into consideration. When we were just talking about these guys talking about, Druckenmiller was saying he sees price inflation surpassing our targets of 5 to 6%. So that's more inflation. What's more inflation going to lead to? Price appreciation in all things priced in dollars. It's here, man. We are about to crush the all-time high, guys. If we look at the line chart, it doesn't really take into account these wicks. We're already at all-time highs. We're there, baby. So, on a pullback, I think this is cool to look at, because if we put a line at the all-time high on the close, 13,880, I think that's a great place to buy if we do get a pullback. You know, somewhere around that 14K, 13.5. If you get anything below that, it's a immediate buy. But I think if we get around that $14,000, even before that, you know, dips are notorious for getting front ran, so you probably want to get your bids higher than the level that you think might get touched, because people like to front run it, and you don't want to be left behind on this massive bull run. So I'm watching that level. I'm going to be bidding 14K, probably like 14,500. You know, waiting for a nice pullback. We haven't gotten a blow off top. Usually that signifies a nice top. Is it, you know, you see price go up rapidly and then it gets sold off really quickly and you have a wick. So we haven't seen that yet. So that's basically tells us that there's more gas in this bull run. So I'm going to be patiently watching Bitcoin, see what happens when we get to that all-time high. You know, I'm anticipating a strong reaction and, you know, a decent correction, like a 20, 25, 30% correction sometime in the near future. But I'm also being leery that, like, you know, if we just keep making higher lows and consolidating upwards and price doesn't move so quickly, you know, that's good, healthy bull market price action. Anyways, I'm getting long-winded here. We're about to crush all-time highs. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Stay safe, and peace out.